Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we'll be reviewing Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Slammer. Slammer here is a deluxe class figure retailing for what I believe was about 25 bucks. I paid an upcharge on him because I got him at my local Fred Meyer. And as you guys know, grocery stores or market stores usually upcharge on figures, toys, things that aren't groceries or food related. They usually ask more for. So, a lot of their Voyagers and Deluxes and Leaders, because my friend Meyer used to sell Leader class figures, they upcharged. Nowadays, the prices are evened out because, price hikes and all that. But Slammer here, I paid, I think, 30 bucks for, which at the time, I didn't really feel like was worth it. But the more I've gotten to mess with this figure, the more I've actually appreciated the figure over, what is it, like almost 4 or 5 years? Maybe a little longer? Let's see. If we're in 26, 2020 was Earthrise, or was it part of Siege? I can't remember. Siege started releasing figures in 2019, I believe. And I think they released their series in 2019? Either way, 5 or 6 years ago, Kingdom Warpath was released. This figure is surprisingly really solid, and he pairs with Siege 6 Gun, as both of those figures are, figures that went to G1 Metroplex, or at the time, Thrilling 30s Metroplex. Obviously, I don't have Metroplex, and 6 Gun is currently in a bunch of pieces stored away somewhere, so I can't really do anything about that. But 6 Gun, he's solid. Metroplex never handled, so I can't say anything. But for a figure that is just on his own right here, he's solid. Granted, over the years, he's paint chipped a lot. This figure is really prone to paint chipping, or at least my copy is. As you can tell, it's on all of the edges. So a lot of that chipping is just because it's probably collided a lot with things too. But also because the paint's kind of chalky a little bit on the feet here. Also, one thing I do want to talk about real quickly, why would you paint the bottom of the feet if you weren't going to raise the parts a little bit? Because a lot of this entire piece here is the foot. It's the bottom foot. It's what's on the ground. And, it's chipped along the edges a lot. But I would have preferred if it was raised a little bit so it didn't chip any of the main flat piece here. Let's see, how's the other side looking? Yeah, the other side's on pretty equal standing. But yeah, the greebling detail is quite lovely. Underside, we have some nice tread detailing, along with some little wheels. So, he doesn't really roll. That's just him sliding. He doesn't roll on smooth surfaces. Carpeted surfaces, that's a little different. Putting him on a little turntable looks lovely. Backside of the alt mode is neat. I guess not really neat, but it's compact. Top side of the alt mode, that's a tank turret. Barrel looks quite nice. Lovely focus. Lovely greebling detailing. Some more paint chipping on the tip of the barrel, but as mentioned, that's to be expected. This figure is much older, and I have played with it a lot ever since I was younger. So, just to be expected. Front of the alt mode has the Autobot logo, which you will see in robot mode. Side of the figure has, I believe, product labeling? Not labeling, what is it? I can't remember. But it's like, it's how they keep track of, what set of boxes this figure was released in. You can remove this with some nail polish remover and a Q-tip, or you could paint over it with exact shade, or you could find some way to incorporate it into the design, which I've seen before, and it's really cool actually, because I've seen some people come up with little stories and stuff, where it's like they pretend the numberings that are exposed is kind of like slave stuff, oh well, that one belongs in that district, and that one is supposed to be doing that type of work. You know, that type of I need to quit stuttering, wow. But that type of stuff. There's not much else for me to say about the tank mode. It's solid. There's not much to do with it. Treads don't turn because, well, they're separate pieces, as we'll see more of when it comes to transformation. Come on, get back in there, buddy. And the main point of articulation is just you can move the tank barrel up, but that's just because of the nature of the robot mode and just this design. As these are the arms, or these are the shoulders, biceps and forearms are in there, and this pin right here is where the elbow is, which is why it points up from that particular spot. But with that being said, let's get into size comparisons. For Deluxe Class, we have 86 Bumblebee and Kingdom Sideswipe. Comparing the three figures together, you get kind of a feel for just the overall scaling of modern G1, or I guess modern Deluxe Class. To be fair, Bumblebee is one of those special cases because he's a mini bot. But comparing Sideswipe to Slammer, both figures released in Kingdom, it looks nice. Honestly, the scaling is lovely. I enjoy it. Next up is our Voyager class, Age of the Prime's Flatline compared to Slammer. Putting the two on the turntable, they're quite similar in size. To be fair though, Flatline... excuse me. Flatline compresses himself much... Or he compresses his robot mode much more into the alt mode, so it's not a length thing, it's more of just a density thing with him. So maybe this might not have been the best figure to use for comparisons, but there's Flatline. And finally, for Leader Class, 86 Optimus Prime. This is not the Target exclusive one. This is the Commander Class, but I mean, if the Target one's able to get away with being Leader Class, we can just remove the trailer and call this Leader Class. Makes my life a little bit easier. But if you want a proper Leader Class, we can get in... Let's move Kranix out of the way. We can get in 86 Galvatron. Because this is a repaint of Kingdom Galvatron. So, we can compare the two there. And just looking at the scale... Oh, forgot to fold that out. But looking at the scale between each other, you know, Galvatron is absolutely massive in his cannon mode. Especially compared to Deluxe Class Slammer here. But yeah, getting Galvatron out of the way, moving some of these figures out of the way. With that all being said, we can finally get into transformation. Now this figure is a parts former. If you don't know what a parts former is, it's basically a transformer that doesn't transform in your conventional means. And by that, I mean you just take them apart, you know? We pull this off. We pull these parts right here off, just like so. That's probably why those parts are chipped. I usually do just drop them like that. I do not help with stuff like that. But yeah, basically a parts former is a figure that you just kind of take apart, and once you do that, you should be left with a bunch of these parts like this. Now, first thing you want to do after you take them apart is grab these parts that helps comprise the back of the alt mode, or the sides of the back end. Get back over there, Galvatron. Just like this. You want these pieces on the outside, because these are going to be our ankle tilts. And you also just want these on the outside too. Just like so. Same thing goes for this side. So those... Come on out. There you go. Just like that, we got ourselves two legs. We'll put them right there for now. Grab the arms, just kind of straighten them out. Same thing with the other side. Backpack is, well, backpack. This piece, or these two parts, you can do whatever you want with them. I see some people just leave them on the back like this. I prefer to leave this piece back here, then take one of his forearms and just plug it in just like so. So yeah, you know, hand cannon. And finally, you take this, pull it down, rotate the waist, move these parts out a little bit so you have a little bit of clearance, flip up the head and rotate it. And now we just kind of put everything together. just like so. On the side, there are ports where these pegs can plug into, just like that. And on the back, there's the 2 ports that are used to connect this piece like this for alt mode. You'll want to use to connect this main back piece just like this. One thing you can do with these is take these off, snag this, put Slimer right here for a moment, chain you up. We can put them together, and they perfectly fit this slot right here, and bam, you got yourself like a little chainsaw sword, just like so. On my copy, this is a very loose thing, but of course, you know, putting them on camera doesn't want, there it goes. It's a very insecure connection on my copy, so a lot of the time this does just end up falling off. So I'll probably use some super glue or floor polish, tying up these pegs and ports so it stays in more securely. Because I also like to use this as kind of like a forearm shield or like an arm blade, kind of. But taking a look at Slimer's robot mode here, he's quite lovely. I love the head design. I really like these kind of blocky designs that we get from Transformers. It's lovely. It's not really unique. I'll give them that. The blocky head designs of the visors aren't really unique. But I won't lie and say they're not lovely. I am a sucker for face guards. Single, like mono eyes or like mono visors like this. And just kind of like the square proportions of a lot of figures. That's probably why I like Optimus Prime a lot. He doesn't have the mono visor, but he does have the face guard, the blocky proportions. And he's just a really cool character, you know. I mean, if you're a Transformers fan, or you're watching this video, and there's just a good chance you have some sort of connection to Transformers through Optimus Prime, or Bumblebee, or Megatron, or Soundwave. And Soundwave and Optimus, those are both characters that have faceplates, and those tend to be people's favorites. You know, obviously Megatron and Bumblebee are too, but Soundwave and Optimus are major contenders for, like, the main Transformers. No, you have your 2 main good guys, then your 2 main bad guys. And Soundwave and Starscream are always changing around with each other. Because people are just trying to figure out, do I like that one more or that one more with Soundwave and Starscream? And a lot of people end up leaning towards Soundwave. And I don't blame them. That robotic, monotone voice, the overall design of Soundwave, it's one of my favorites. It's a very simple design, but it's one of my favorites. Sometimes simplicity just wins. Excuse me, sorry. But again, taking a look at Slimer here, he's lovely. Backpack is pretty minimal. It's also just optional. You can just pull this whole thing off. Granted, you'll have hollow spacing, which is why I usually opt for the sword. Because it's not as hollow, but it's not as clunky either, so you can have more leg movement back this way. Because if you put this piece back on, leg movement's kind of restricted unless you turn the waist. But that results in this kind of funny look. So yeah, you know, hooray! Funny looks, appearances, yada yada. But yeah, I like Slimer. Slimer is a character that doesn't really have any lore, but is just, he's neat. He's neat. You know that one scene from The Simpsons where Marge just goes on about potatoes? I'm Marge right now. I just think it's neat. I think this figure is neat. That's all I really have to say. He's fun. I like his parts former gimmick. I used to. I sold off my Junkions, so I can't really do that anymore. I mean, I still have Lockdown and Toe Line, I think. It's been a while since I messed with Toe Line, actually. That figure I've been trying to customize for a little while. But, I like to mix my figures. I like to mix and match, see what I can do. And this figure lends himself to that really well. That's why I want to get more of the Siege, or just the War for Cybertron parts formers, with the exception of the fossilizers. Great figures, but my experience with the Wreck and Roll collection kind of ruined them. Mastodon was neat, but every joint was loose, and Spindle just kept falling apart, which really sucked too, because I liked their designs a lot, actually. But their QC issues were just too great for me to deal with, and also because I'm lazy and didn't want to fix them. And I was also really unfamiliar with how to fix them at the time. But yeah, with that all being said, let's go into articulation. Overall design's nice. I like it. The colors are monochrome. I think that's how you say it. I'm probably saying it wrong. Monochrome. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. Monochrome. He has like this brownish gray, lots of black. Let's see. Is that black? No, the joints are black. This is just a really dark shade of gray. Now that's black. Then obviously that's black. Got some silver. We have the white, some more silver. The only real pops of color come from this identification, the red Autobot logo, and the blue visor. Besides that, this is a very kind of dull design. But I think that's also what makes his head and just his overall face pop out a lot more to me. It's such a monochrome design. It's such a simple design. But then having this really large pop of blue, I think that's what really draws me to this figure. Because a lot of the figures I like have pretty dull colors. Then just out of nowhere, little pops here and there. 86 Megatron. Overall, really dull colored figure. But then we have pops of red, yellow, purple from his badge, the red from his sides and biceps, blues and yellows from his little chest panel buttons, and then the red from his eyes. Those add lots of, I guess, color, a unique appearance. I like dull designs that have those little details. I think that's why I really like a lot of Prime's Decepticon kind of lineup, because a lot of their colors are dull, but then they have little pops here and there. The exceptions being, I want to say Shockwave for sure, Knockout for sure, and I think we can put Breakdown there as well, because his blue's dark, but it's not like dull. It's slightly vibrant. I guess Breakdown actually doesn't really qualify because he has that really bright orange face. And I'm going on a tangent again. Let me stop that there. What was I going to say? Right, articulation. I didn't really continue on that. Sorry. Head's on a ball joint. Figure looks up that far, down that far, side to side, 360 at the head. Arms go all the way around, out that far. Bicep rotation. Slightly past 90 at the elbows. No wrist swivel, but obviously the barrel can turn because peg and port system. Gotta love that. Waist rotation. Waist can also just come off. Peg and port system as well. Legs can go back that far, forward that far, out that far. 360 at the thigh. Knees can bend in that far. And there's a lovely ankle pivot. And finally, or I guess second to last, size comparison. So, for Deluxe Class, we have the Legacy United Gears. That camera is, oh my god. I am flexing this stand. This is a good angle. I think I might start recording at this angle. This looks a lot better on camera, actually. I'll need to take a picture of this angle. I need to keep this in mind. Now, back to the figures. Deluxe Class, or I guess a mini-bot Deluxe Class compared to Slimer. It's neat looking. I like it. Let's see. Get him on the little turntable. Looks good, as always. Next up is our Voyager Class, that being Road Hauler here. Looking as lovely as ever. Very bright neon green. Good mold. I like the grapple mold a lot. It's a shame for that QC issue, though. Or I guess it's not even QC, it's a design issue. But finally, 86 Grimlock. This figure is wonderful. And out of the Leader Class figures, he's my biggest, I believe. Yeah, I think he is actually just my tallest. One second. Let me get Megatron real quickly. Alright. Got 86 Megatron here. Let's pull up my chair again. I keep shaking the camera. Stop that. Stop that. Alright. Put Slammer right there. 86 Meg. Oh, wow. Yeah. Grimlock is a good bit taller than Megs. But yeah. With that all being said, final thoughts on Slammer. Great figure. Great price. You will find him for cheap because he is a parts former. But to be fair, there are still scalpers out there, so don't pay over 40. I paid 30, and I'm really happy with that price still. I'd suggest 30 or under. Obviously, you know, shipping's going to bring that a little higher if you order online, but if you can find them for 30 or less, go for it. The figure's great. I like him a lot. He's fun. He poses wonderfully. And yeah. With that all being said, that's about it for tonight's video. I'll see you all next time, with next video being, let's see, Legacy Alita 1, because she just came in the mail, I think about a week ago. So yeah, you know, we'll be stacking her up with Optimus Prime here, seeing how that all looks. But yeah, see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all take care. See ya!